Okay, y'all. I would like to say I have never been this excited for a movie in my life. Here's a quick story. I was getting a tattoo last week. If y'all want to see what it looks like, it's this. It's not done, but it's this. But me and my tattoo artist, we usually talk about certain type of things, and one like a day, I think it was like 2 years ago, he asked me, "Do I watch anime?" And I was like, "No, I don't really. I don't really partake in anime right now because I'm scared." And then he like told me like, "Hey, check it out and see what happens." So now, fast forward, I'm checking out anime, all these other things. I told him that I'm actually checking out anime, and guess what he told me? He told me to check out Akira. Yo, as soon as he said it, I had a flashback to when I don't know how old I was, but I know I was a child in my mama's house back then. I think I was under 10 years old, I believe. And Akira came on the TV and I was like sleep. And the only thing I remember was the beginning sequence of when Canada was going up against the clowns biker gang. Obviously, I didn't know what was going on. I went to sleep around that time, but it stuck with me. I kept hearing about Akita, and I ain't gonna lie. When I got the tattoo, my tattoo artist unlocked something inside of me to check this movie out. So this morning, I made it my life's goal this morning to watch this movie. And I wanted to watch it with you guys. It took me a long ass time to try and find a way to watch this movie with you. However, I did. I did purchase this movie. I ain't gonna lie. They said I heard that this is like the greatest anime ever, and this has changed like anime for. I don't know what that means at this moment, and we're about to find out with today's video. But I'm gonna keep it P. It was a great experience, bro. It was a really great experience. It was a lot going on in there, and still, I'm still confused. So this is why I wanted to say today, I wanted to have this explained of what's going on, so I can get a sense of like the impact of this whole movie, and also just like certain things that maybe I've missed, because when the end happened, I was very confused, but like not as confused as I'd be sometimes. But it was just like, is there something that I'm not getting? So I wanted to watch this video to explain and also tell you guys I watched Akira this morning. So it's on the Patreon if you guys want to check it out. I was so excited to watch this, and I'm not gonna lie, this has exceeded my expectations. I can't wait to watch other anime movies. So I want to learn more about this because this joint was amazing, bro. And obviously, y'all know I be tardy to stuff, so I'm trying to get right. So today's video is the impact of Akira, the film that changed everything. I don't really know what this creator is about to say, but I have a lot of conversation to have that like came, I guess, after watching the movie. So it may be a minute, maybe a little time, but I'm very excited right now. I'm not gonna lie. So let's get this movie explained. Oh, oh my gosh, yes. The thoughts, views, and opinions expressed by the host of this show are for authentic, honest, and entertaining purposes. Unless you don't think I'm entertaining. I repeat, this is my opinion. I am not telling you how or what to think or feel, but I do encourage you to speak your mind and have conversations. Just don't do too much. Also, this video is brought to you by Sebastine's Patreon, where you can access over 1,000 videos of exclusive content. If you want to subscribe and support this amazing community, click the link in the description below, and thank you for everything. Enjoy the video. Leave her alone. I ain't gonna lie, I was not ready for that. I see why this movie was rated R. Oh my gosh, what the fuck? Hold on, I like it. They got the black guy saying some real profound. First words he says is some real. I like that. Yeah, okay. That's what's up. Okay. Huh. Oh. What do you mean, stop chasing us? He's literally behind. What? Hold on, I ain't gonna lie to you. How the hell is she alive out of all people? She literally just got. You know what? Whatever. Okay, come on. Bang.
There was everything else, and then there was Akira.
That's one hell of. Okay. Well, that's one hell of a. That's one hell of an intro. There was everything else, but then there was Akira. All right, then. Bro, y'all don't understand how much this shit was so fire. And this damn intro making this thing even more fire than it was. Oh my gosh.
Akira is the most important moment in the history of modern anime.
Really?
No other piece of media has even come close to the seismic effect this film has had on anime as a global industry.
Oh my gosh.
And it did it in an age when anime was a virtual unknown in the West. When even visionary filmmakers like George Lucas and Steven Spielberg looked at films like Akira and couldn't imagine a world where they could succeed in the West.
What? George Lucas and Steven Spielberg watched this movie and was like, whoa, oh, all right, shit.
And yet Akira blew through every cultural barrier and global limitation and woke the Western world to the fact that Japanese animation existed.
What?
For every time you've sat down and watched an episode of Dragon Ball Z, for every fan theory you've seen on Evangelion, for every YouTube video...
Bro, that's another movie I wanted to watch. That I was requested to watch this. Well, it's pronounced Evangelion. I want to watch that too. I'm not gonna lie. I have a list. It's a very short list. Akira was at the top. Spirited Away was next, and Evangelion, bro, y'all don't understand the excitement that I have right now. What the frack?
You've watched about anime, Akira is the point when that started to happen.
Really?
It's also a film that I feel has fallen out of popular consciousness in recent times. It's rare I hear it discussed now outside the most hardcore circles, or in relation to the hellish, never-ending pre-production of its live-action adaptation.
I don't know there's live action to this. Oh, shit. Well, there's probably that would probably make it as to why after you, I guess, type in Akira, the parentheses of when the movie came out was 1988. So I guess that's a differentiation between the other adaptations of this movie.
And so I wonder how much the youngest generation of anime fans actually knows or even cares about this movie. After all, Akira doesn't look like modern anime. It doesn't move like modern anime. Hell, it doesn't feel like modern anime. Nothing about Akira is even remotely reminiscent of what anime has become, and that's a big part of what makes it special.
Okay.
As Akira was the culmination of one of the most exciting times in anime's history.
This is the whole thing that I'd be saying. I swear the 80s probably have shaped this world that we have now. I genuinely think that now. I ain't gonna lie. Just think about it. Now that I know about anime in terms of shaping anime for what this man said. I don't know yet. I'm just learning. But just think about it. In the 80s, you had Akira, you had Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird in terms of sports. And then there's other sports too, like Olympic sports. Then you have what else happened in the 80s? Michael Jackson, Prince. Literally how 80s music is just amazing. Bro, what if that would be crazy if the 80s, the whole 80s is the actual golden age, how they say the 90s were? But I don't know. This happened this came out in 88. And I could feel the 80s type of spirit in this movie. And it said this takes place in 2019. Bro, oh my gosh.
The mid to late 80s, an era that many have dubbed the golden age of anime.
Oh, sure.
This title is more than just a rose-hued tinting of the past, however. There were very specific factors that made anime of this era special. Japan of the 1980s was for the first time since World War II starting to see a major economic upturn. This brought the Tokyo stock market index to an all-time high and surged Japan's economy to heights it had never seen, which meant that a comfortable middle-class lifestyle was now available to anyone willing to don a shirt and tie and embrace the life of a salaryman.
Oh. Ooh. Oh. This also ties into what is that group that talked about salarymen? Oh, I forgot the name. I remember it was like a man. It was a man in a green shirt and khaki pants. I know exactly what it was, but I forgot the name. It was High Konokant. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh.
This excess in disposable income meant that there was now a massive influx of money to both consume and create film and animation, with anime feature films in particular seeing an unprecedented growth. In the 1970s, 49 animated feature films were produced in Japan, but in the 1980s, that number more than quadrupled to 220.
I heard about My Friend Totoro too. 47 to 220, damn!
The golden age of anime was more than just a fiscal boom, however. At this point, anime had been a commodified industry in Japan for more than 2 decades, which meant that by the mid-80s, there were professional animators in Japan who had been honing their skills for nearly 30 years, while the generation that had grown up with the works of these masters were now just entering the animation industry for the first time. And together, the two groups were beginning to realize the potential these skills could unleash. Just as critically though, the anime industry was still relatively new. This was a time before anime had really become anime. Before otaku culture had really galvanized and fans started looking to anime for hyper-specific things, and before studios started to pander to them. And so what you had was a flourishing industry awash with cash, filled with skilled and passionate animators who were for the first time realizing the full potential of animation and who weren't trying to adhere to an abstract concept of what anime should be.
And that's like really beautiful. Like this seemed like a perfect storm. They had the cash, they had the vision, they had the skills, and they had the time to do it. That seems like a perfect storm amongst other like factors. But like it would make sense as to why this like was something that happened. Not me getting history right now. Hold on.
And the results were projects that were aimed at no one and therefore could be appreciated by everyone. Beautiful expressions of mood and tone like Angel's Egg, thoughtful and harrowing depictions of the chaos brought about by war like Grave of the Fireflies, joyous flights of imagination like My Neighbor Totoro, or insanely polished OVAs like Gunbuster. Anime from this period is often seen as hyper-violent and grotesquely sexualized, and while it certainly is in a lot of cases, to me, this adult content was also a sign that Japan's animators were realizing that animation didn't need to adhere to any one audience.
Okay, I ain't gonna hold you. Like that one scene that I think it's probably in the preview, in the Patreon preview, I was not expecting that. I was not expecting them to do that to that girl. Like, bro, that really just like fucked me up for a second. And it was just like a couple frames of just some nasty shit. Like, bro, I'm not gonna lie. And I think it's probably, well, in terms of like not the sexual content, because I have a very ignorant brain in terms of like the sexual content in terms of like anime. I just hear things that people are saying, and it's always is different than seeing it in your face. But like the gore and stuff like that, I genuinely feel like me watching Attack on Titan kind of like prepared me for this, even though it kind of didn't. But I don't know. I'm learning a lot of stuff right now. My gosh.
That it could depict literally anything, and this was them slamming up against the boundaries of those preconceptions. And so the 80s became awash with anime that was experimental and adult and gorgeous. And the precipice of this came in 1988 in the form of Akira.
Akira. Akira.
Akira was a giant
Akira.
collaboration between
Bro's just saying this thing. This Akira. Which it's Akira, isn't it? Or is it Akira?
7 different entertainment conglomerates, which swelled Akira's budget to approximately 8 to 11 billion yen. 10 times that of Studio Ghibli's Nausicaa, and you could see it directly in the frame count.
Oh, hold on then. Let's learn about some yen. In 1988, 10 billion Japanese yen was approximately equivalent to 75 to 80 million USD. Fuck. Well, I see that the money was used very well.
Akira was animated with a combination of ones and twos, meaning that the majority of the film was brought to life with either 12 drawings a second or even in places 24 drawings per second.
You know what's actually like crazy about this? I know y'all don't care, but like when I was a kid, I always wanted to like animate stuff. Like you can ask my mom. She still has like my drawings back then. And when I wanted to go to college, I wanted to go to college for animation, but I was influenced to not do that because there was no money in it. That's what I was told. So I chose something else. It's crazy how life always finds you again from your past. I did not know how much I would really like anime. And like I'm still in like the beginning stages. I'm only watching 2 animes right now. And I just started watching, I just finished Akira. Like how vast is this world that I'm getting into?
Far surpassing the Studio Ghibli benchmark, and allowing the animation to flow like liquid in a way that let Akira go toe-to-toe with Disney's top-tier productions. Akira moves beautifully, with the action scenes hitting hard and the emotional scenes feeling, well, emotional. But it's also more than just that. There's a level of detail and nuance in the animation of Akira that I have yet to really see surpassed. Shots where even the tiniest detail feels taken into consideration, and the results are mesmerizing. Just check out this shot that comes later on in the film, where Tetsuo regenerates his arm out of old pieces of scrap metal, and just look at how each tiny wire and screw twists and locks into place to form the actual muscles and tendons. Or even just in very minor shots where even background details are animated, like here where there's a ever so slight pull in on Tetsuo, and they've actually animated the perspective on the ground to move in accordance with the camera.
I ain't gonna lie, Tetsuo's head was big as hell. I felt bad when he kept getting them headaches, bro.
And this level of detail is present in so many shots throughout the movie, where there's all these different things happening on screen at once, and it's really impossible to take it all in. And it makes
Well, I'm not gonna lie, I was just tapping into, this is what I was looking at, right? I was looking at bro back here, and he was just like vibing, like he was vibing until this nigga just threw up blood. Like, bro, like what?
Screen at once, and it's nearly impossible to take it all in. And it makes Akira's world feel chaotic and alive, and never more so in the wide-scale scenes of mass destruction that punctuate Akira's story.
Yeah,
These scenes in particular stand out not only because of how beautifully they're animated, but because destruction is a major underlying theme of Akira, and a huge part of what made the film feel so distinct in the West. American sci-fi of the 80s and 90s has this reverence for technology, often being treated as a way to help prevent some great disaster or catastrophe. But there was a distinct difference in Japanese pop culture. While there was certainly the same fetishization of technology, there was often a deep-rooted underlying cynicism to it, with many stories not being about the prevention of large-scale disaster, but learning to survive once disaster has occurred.
And also, there was like a thing. Okay, hold on. I might be like, I have a confession to make. I used to be addicted and like very fascinated with like end of the world movies and disaster movies. I don't know why. I don't know why. And this may be like showing y'all that I'm like kind of weird. I don't know. But it was just like I always used to like find these disaster movies, and also at the same time I used to just like cry. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember when 2012 first started having their previews, bro, I remember to this day at my grandma's house, I was crying to my mom and like, Mom, there's please tell me the world's not ending in 2012. It was literally December 21st, 2012. I remember that it's etched into my brain. And then I saw the movie and I was like, oh. Mind you, this was literally after there was like a preacher that predicted the world to end in May of 2011. And then also, fast forward, remember when what was that Seth Rogen movie? What was that End of the World Seth Rogen movie? What was that? This Is the End. That movie too. And I literally walked out of the theater with my uncle because I was like, bro, I can't take this. I don't know what that is, but there's just like something about destruction. It's like one of those things for me where it's like I want to look away, but I can't. And I don't really want to get into like one of those psyche moments that I be having, but it's just like, I want to know why. And also like The Day After Tomorrow, I used to watch movies like that. I think there was a movie on Netflix. It was called Tidal Wave. There was just another joint where what was that Netflix movie where the girl had the little boy, and it turns out all this other stuff happened. I'm not going to spoil it, but like that movie too. I don't know what it is. Is there something to that? I feel like there's something to that, and I never like understood why I was so fascinated with stuff like this. And I don't even think it's a fascination, because that kind of sounds crazy because it's destruction. But like the fact that like this was like a whole thing in mediums of media, like video, like this is also had like a destruction theme. I think Evangelion, whatever, however you say it. I think there's like a destruction thing there, like Independence Day. Like I don't know what it is. I'll probably think of it in another time, but I just had that moment.
This difference in perspective is seen by many as a reverberation of the 1945 bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki during World War II.
Okay, I understand
in which
that.
2 atomic bombs were detonated over the city of Hiroshima, killing 129,000
Wait, what is that
people.
from? What is that from?
This tragedy was reflected in many pieces of iconic Japanese cinema that followed throughout the years, and we can see this directly in the first shot of Akira, as a catastrophic explosion of light eradicates a Tokyo cityscape. And we look forward 4 decades to the year 2019, and from the ashes of a ruined Tokyo has risen Neo-Tokyo, a dangerous, wild dystopia of a city where biker gangs openly spill each other's blood in the streets.
No, for
where civil
real.
arrests and mass protests have led to frequent rioting, where the scars of mass destruction can still be felt in every aspect of society. It's a semblance of Tokyo that feels like it's spinning violently apart, still stumbling and spluttering in the wake of World War III, and we see it all through the eyes of Kaneda and Tetsuo. 2 orphaned delinquents who together have formed a violent motorcycle gang and have eked out a chaotic existence in the streets of Neo-Tokyo. And you can see the struggle the city faces in every facet of their lives, from the overcrowded schools to the way they're treated by adults to the random acts of violence they...
Bro, they were punching these dudes in the face, screaming, discipline, discipline, discipline. Like, what the fuck? Like, no, I'm not finna learn if y'all finna discipline me by punching me square in my jaw. And also these adults was big as hell. Like, bro, what was the name? The colonel was looking like Suge Knight up this month. Like, bro, what?
Commit against regular citizens. The film does an exceptional job of establishing the world these characters live in, not through any real exposition, but just through strong dystopian imagery. There's this one shot in the beginning of the Fist of the North Star movie where we see this boat harpooned through a skyscraper.
What the fuck?
And I love this shot. I don't think
Okay.
I've ever seen an image that so immediately and clearly conveys that this world is just, well, fucked. And it's strong world-building imagery like this that's present throughout Akira. From the ruined monument outside Kaneda and Tetsuo's school to the searing neon lights that bathe the city in a harsh, futuristic glow. And it really conveys the feeling that these characters are trapped, both by the city and by the shadow of the catastrophe.
Also, there's like one thing that I did like notice about like how they treated women in this movie. It was just like, whoa, holy fuck. Like it was like, yo, like when they were all coming out the school, and all the ladies was like over, like running over to them, happy as hell to see them. They were like, get out the way, shut up. Like, damn, man, what if I was getting my ass whooped in school, bro? Talk about some damn discipline. If I had somebody that was happy to see me, I'd be happy to see them too. Ain't gonna be talking about, oh, shut up, all this other stuff. And the way Tetsudo was treating, what's her name? Like, bro, oh my gosh. That was a very, like, crazy thing to see. And it also probably, I'm sure it ties into, like, some, like, cultural thing. That shit was crazy. I ain't gonna hold you, cuz.
But while Kaneda's wild nature allows him to thrive in the chaos, Tetsuo feels bitter and alone, his only comfort in life being his girlfriend Kaori, the two together.
Bro, he was treating her like, bro,
dreaming of escaping Neo-Tokyo and living a peaceful life somewhere else.
The whole thing about Tetsudo was throwing me off because, like, bro, he's real live hard-headed, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember in the beginning, or not in the beginning, it was like towards the end, where this nigga Kaneda was literally trying to be a friend to him. The nigga got his shit back and got his ass whooped for him. And it's like, yo, the only thing you can say is that you were bossing me around. I'm sorry if you start doing some weak ass shit. My bad that we have to save you like that. Sorry. And then he literally said that. And then a nigga got captured by the fucking... And I was over here thinking like, did the movie Chronicle get some like... Because I remember Chronicle when I saw Chronicle. You know, the beat down, bullied guy gets this power, this surge of power, and he just thinks he's just God. And like the same thing was with Tetsudo. I'm like, bro, maybe, I don't know, but maybe that evil shit was probably in him. Because it's like, how do you have these people that actually care about you? But Tetsudo kept doing shit by his own drum. He was mad stubborn, bro. He was stubborn as hell. Niggas told him not to go in front of, what was it, number 26? I believe, the kid. And then a nigga blew your shit up without even touching you. And then you find him again, and then like, bro, I'm just like, yo, this little boy is troubled. But how you gonna do this to your girlfriend and Kaneda? The dude literally followed you throughout this whole fucking city. And he still tries his hardest to find you. And you're just like, oh, you don't have to save me anymore, I'm saving you. And then the next couple scenes, he's talking about die. Like, I ain't gonna lie, that's very frustrating. I did not like Tetsudo in this movie. But then there's also something I'm just like, maybe I should just think about it in a certain type of lens. But he was not helping, bro. He really was not helping. His girl literally got her top taken off. She got sexually harassed. And the dude over here just like, and she over here just like, hey, what the fuck? Like she got hit in her shit, all this other stuff. They gave her a coat, and he's over here, my head hurts. Oh, my head hurts. Like, bro, oh my gosh. I don't think Tetsudo actually cared about anybody. Like, real shit.
By fixing the events of the story from the perspectives of Kaneda and Tetsuo, it lets us empathize with the long-reaching, intimate human cost of large-scale disaster. Kaneda and Tetsuo are violent delinquents, but they're a product of their environments.
That is true.
Without families or a stable society, they never had a chance to be anything else. A problem that only grows more complicated when, after an encounter with an escaped government test subject, Tetsuo begins to awaken his latent psychic ability, letting him manifest his inadequacy and rage into massive telekinetic blasts.
Man.
And from here, he turns against his former friends and the city itself.
Like, that's fucked up. You shouldn't do that. Like, what the hell?
Hoping to find the one named Akira, the psychic weapon responsible for Tokyo's destruction in the first place.
Wait, what?
The story is tied together by a
Wait, what? Huh? Wait, so this thing that they were looking for was responsible for the whole reason why they're looking for this motherfucker? Wait, oh my gosh. Hold on. Wait, but so I so pretty much was like they were, from what I remember, were they trying to consider Akira as God? Like they I remember what was her name? Kay. She was like referring to Akira as like ultimate source of energy. And not to like get into like my, I love the Lord bag. I'm just trying to like simplify it. It's just like, okay. So is this like a symbolism for the war not had to happen, but like first off, okay, sorry. Why are we looking for the person that caused this whole shit any fucking way? Like, why are we looking for it? Like, they wanted to control this? Does this tie to Attack on Titan? See, I'm watching Attack on Titan tomorrow. I'm just, okay, hold on. Let me calm down. Let's keep going.
soundtrack consisting of traditional Japanese instrumentals layered with 80s future synth. And what's cool is these two styles together create this kind of traditional / sci-fi vibe, which speaks directly to the themes of Akira, combining Japan's past and its future. All these different elements come together to create one of the most stunning movie experiences in history. And
I ain't gonna lie, this ending like really just like was like fucking me up. Dang.
and personally one of my all-time favorites. But
what?
here's the thing.
What?
Over the years, I've gone back and rewatched Akira more times than I can count. And over the course of those rewatches, I've come to realize something. And that is that the film Akira is a compromise. Allow me to explain. Akira was based off the 1982 2,000-page 6-volume epic manga of the same title, written by the same man who directed the film, Katsuhiro Otomo. And specifically, what the film is the first half of the first volume and the last half of the last volume, with a kind of amalgamated middle third that struggles to link these two divergent pieces of storytelling together. And the result is a second act that feels heavily truncated and hard to follow, with conversations that try to touch off some major themes that are never really given the proper room to land. Watch Akira with someone who's never seen it before, and they'll likely struggle to follow all the divergent plot threads the film begins to layer on around the 40-minute mark.
Wait, but like, hold on. Well, I would like to think that I like caught it, or as I was still confused, and I was asking in the thing, I was like, does Tetsuo just like randomly just get this feeling that he has to complete this mission? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's like something that like wired his brain to do this now. Because it's like, I didn't know Tetsuo was like this much of a jackass until he started doing some jackass shit. But then again, he's in an environment where they're jackasses. But it was just like, wait a damn second. Like, why did he kill? Like, the whole kill is like, why did he do that to the bartender? Like, it's just like a bunch of stuff. I was just like, cuz you didn't even have to do that. Mind you, he asked the bartender for... This is a lot of spoilers. This movie came out in 1988. Spoiler alert. This is going to be spoiled. It's like, bro, he did this to the bartender, asked him for pills, and then when his other friends came down, first off, he killed one of them, and then after he was just looking at him, and then dropped all the fucking pills. It's just like, why did you do this? Why? Why did you do this? I didn't even know Kay was like a vessel or something. Like, I don't know anything about that. I just thought what was it? Number 25 was just like tapping into into her just psychic ability to just get through people's minds and stuff like that. I just assumed that. Then I can definitely see like why there was like a bunch of like plot holes in here, or not plot holes, but like some like things missing. But then again, like I know that movies also like fast forward sometimes because you can't put everything in a manga or a book into a movie. So it's like you have to fast forward, right?
As it covers everything from drug addiction to a government coup to the evolution of humanity and even the nature of existence, before finally coming together in a messy but satisfying conclusion. The reason I use the word compromise is that after watching Akira enough times, it's easy to start feeling like you're getting a truncated version of a much larger story. But that larger story does exist, and it exists in the form of the manga.
So do I need to get this manga? I kind of want to collect mangas when I like have the time to do so, but I just have to get the manga.
The relationship between the film and manga is a strange one, not only because they share an author and director, but because it's difficult to even say that the film is a full adaptation of the manga, as the manga was created before, during, and after the release of the movie.
What?
Only concluding in June of 1990, 2 years after the release of the film, meaning that in a way, both the film and the manga are the original versions of Akira.
Really?
With Otomo himself stating that the experience of directing the movie massively shaped the direction the manga would end up going in. And so the manga is at once the inspiration for the film as well as the revised version of it. And the result is a much fuller, more complete story, with concepts that are only touched upon in the movie being given room to breathe and grow and shape the narrative of the manga. Throwaway characters with less than 30-second screen time in the film take on massive story-critical roles in the comic.
Yeah, I was about to say this this spiritual leader dude, like it kind of felt like this could have been some, like when I was watching it I was like, oh, okay, so they're like praying to this Akira person. Okay, I feel like that would have been something later, but then he appears when Tetsudo started tripping the fuck out, and then he just died. Like, it was just like, what? All right.
And the conflict surrounding Kaneda and Tetsuo grows to encompass a much larger cast in a story that doesn't really feel like it's about any one character, but dozens of smaller individuals, each one of which has their own strengths, weaknesses, and motivations that play a part in shaping a much grander narrative. While the film takes advantage of light, sound, movement, and color, the manga takes advantage of its own medium in some really profound and beautiful ways. Otomo has an incredibly solid grasp on all aspects of manga, from his expressive characters to his flow of action through paneling to his incredibly detailed background art. Possibly my favorite thing about the way Otomo makes manga, though, is how he creates a sense of empathy with his characters through these beautifully quiet single-page spreads, where nothing really happens, and it's just the characters alone in their environment. And in a story where major plot events are defined by gigantic world-ending cataclysm, these pages create these beautifully intimate little moments where we're just allowed to sit with these characters and just feel what they feel. And it really helps ground Akira's world and puts across the feeling that even throughout all the war and chaos, this is just a story about people trying to survive a situation that is much greater than they are. There's an instance of this that occurs about halfway through the manga. It happens at the climax of the manga's second major story arc, when Akira suffers a major emotional trauma and he unleashes this massive double-page, city-crushing psychic blast that tears through Neo Tokyo, eradicating the entire city.
You talking about the second joint when this nigga just turned into a white ball? Or is that when they asked Akira to like save them?
And what makes this sequence so special isn't even the blast itself, it's what follows. As we turn the pages, we're met with these beautifully detailed, giant, double-page
This is
illustrations
beautiful. What the fuck?
of Neo Tokyo just coming apart under the weight of Akira's attack.
I want this manga. Okay. I genuinely think I'm just like getting a resurgence of this animation stuff. What the fuck? Oh my gosh. I never told y'all about that, so I'm
And then again, and again, and again. And with each turn of the page, the magnitude of the event becomes more real and profound. Until finally, there's just stillness. We're just left to sit in the quiet devastation of the aftermath, and the panels slowly start to pull in on different characters from the story as they look out over the debris of the cataclysm that moments ago was their home.
That's
And there's
crazy.
this unbelievably sad feeling that these people's entire lives have changed, making for maybe the most harrowing depiction of mass destruction I've ever experienced in media.
Oh, wow.
Its parallels to Japan's own history being plain to see.
Okay.
A moment like this works so well in the manga because it has the space to convey a much larger, more populated universe. And so we feel it so much more when that universe is destroyed, in a way that just isn't possible in a 2-hour movie. But none of that is to say that the manga invalidates the film. I think if anything, the manga helped me understand why the film has such a powerful effect on people.
Okay.
Throughout Akira, Neo Tokyo is destroyed over and over and over again. And it's hard not to feel like there's a real grim message in there. Like that destruction is inevitable and people are what will cause it. But I feel like there's something more there too. Because for every time one of these catastrophes does take place, the characters that are left all pick themselves back up and eventually try to move forward. I think there's something really hopeful about that. That even if the worst possible outcome occurs and it feels like there's nothing left, life will always go on and we always have the option to move forward.
That's true.
And that there will always be something to move forward to.
I mean, yeah, that's true, but then like what would happen if you get like you're like post the 7th blast? It's just like, bro, niggas is tired. They're tired. Tired as fuck. Fuck this shit. Like, yo. But then that also probably ties into like the perseverance of humans in itself.
And what the film is this message heavily condensed but beautifully realized. And I think it's a message that people never stop needing to hear, which, alongside its incredible production, gives Akira this kind of timeless quality that keeps it as relevant today as the first day it introduced the world to a new kind of entertainment. That day being December 25th, 1989, when Akira saw a limited release in American cinemas.
Just Christmas? Oh shit.
Over a week after the first episode of The Simpsons aired on television.
Really?
Anime in the West was a virtual unknown up until this point. The handful of anime features that were released were subject to some pretty brutal Americanized edits.
Damn.
Like Studio Ghibli's Nausicaa, which saw 25 minutes stripped from its runtime, featuring characters on the poster who don't actually appear in the movie.
What?
And so anime or any kind of animation aimed at adults just didn't really exist. Which is exactly what would have made a screening of Akira so mind-blowing. Think about all the themes we just discussed and compare them to titles like The Little Mermaid or A Land Before Time or An American Tale, and just imagine the massive cultural shock a screening of Akira would have been. How jarringly its depictions of violence and destruction and socio-political messaging would have stood alongside the child-focused offerings of Disney and Don Bluth.
That's actually crazy because like like as I'm getting older, like I'm like realizing that like the world is fucking evil, and it's been evil since before I was even a thought. So like just like looking at like or just I guess thinking about things that were like put out back there, like Little Mermaid, these Disney movies, everything, just making everything have this like happy story ending, and then you have real life, real fucked up stuff, really, really fucked up things being animated in other countries, and it comes over to the West and it's a limited release. That says something. That is crazy.
And so, Akira's status as a cult classic exploded across the US and the rest of the Western world, going on to make a staggering global box office of $45 million, which led to the 1991 VHS release of Akira from Manga Entertainment, a distribution label established solely on the success of Akira in the West, who would go on to co-produce the next major anime smash hit, Ghost in the Shell, as well as being the first major distributor of anime in the West, spreading Akira far and wide and creating the first sizable generation of Western anime fans. And I include myself in that. Akira was the first anime I ever saw. I was around 8 or 9 years old and staying over at a relative's, and my cousins had recorded a copy of Akira off some German sci-fi channel. And I remember just sitting there.
Wait, so how the fuck did I see this when I... Was I shown this? What the hell? Bro, I'm not gonna lie, I remember seeing this when I was a kid. Who showed me this shit? I don't remember. The only thing I remember is that beginning scene. Who showed me this shit, bro?
And being transfixed by the film's anger and violence, entranced by how it was like nothing I had ever seen before, and what that might mean. Like somewhere out there, there was this secret world of cartoons that was so different from anything I thought I knew. And I can't help feel like that experience is shared by the West as a whole. Akira was the moments that an entire society realized there was something really different and beautiful and insane out there, and wondering what else might be. It's hundreds of thousands of experiences like this that created the market in the West that future anime like Dragon Ball Z and Evangelion would later capitalize on. And this is how a film so distinct to Japan and its history would transform the landscape of global animation forever. This was the impact of Akira. The film that changed everything.
First things first, shout out to my tattoo artist. I can't wait to tell him that I actually saw this. He'd probably be happy as hell. Bro, I really hate that I'm just like so ignorant to a lot of stuff, but I am happy to learn a lot of stuff. I did not know that this movie was this like monumental. I might have to watch this again. Like, yo. Oh my goodness. Huh. Every day I feel like I'm just unlocking a door with so much possibilities and learning. Every day, man. Every freaking day. Have y'all seen Akira? If you have, please let me know what you think about it. I'm blown away. Like, this like made my day. Really, like watching this movie like kind of made my day. I ain't gonna lie to you. Shit. Oh my gosh. If y'all want to watch with me, it's on my Patreon, of course, and I can't wait to watch another one. I do want to get this manga. Feel like just a student again. Like, real shit. I feel like a student, and actually in a school has so much possibilities. And not that I have to learn the Pythagorean theorem at 8 a.m. on a random Tuesday. I would rather learn about this amongst a lot of stuff. If y'all made it this far, thank y'all for watching. And I hope you guys like tap in with this journey with me. I'm really intrigued, bro. Wow. I hope y'all have a good day. We got some other uploads as well. I hope you guys enjoy. But I'm really blown away. Wow.